What up, though, player partners? Give everybody a minute to get in the room before we blast off. Man, this thing is dirty again. Whatever. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes, wait for folks to get in here, and then we're gonna get it cracking. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope that God is blessing you, and I hope that you're getting everything that you want. Can you dig it? I know that you can. Okay, let me go ahead and X this out. Okay. All right. This is something. Okay. What's up, brother? How you doing? Hey, give me a second. I'm gonna go take care of something. Uh, I'll be right back. Just giving folks a minute to get in the room before we get it cracking. People showing what they really about. That's what that sound like to me. Okay. All right. Shoot, man, I'm tired. Had an appointment today, and then I had to did some work in the backyard that I needed to finish up. So, yeah, took care of that situation. What's happening, y'all? Let's go ahead and get started. You know, there's a lot of stuff that been popping since Biden got in there. Biden, as soon as Biden took over, do you guys know inflation went up? As soon as he took office, do you know on the lane stream and on the lane stream media that they are saying that because of the $10,000 loan forgiveness and the fact that Biden supports Roe v. Wade, that's enough to push him over the edge to win if he decides to run for re-election. He's gonna run for re-election. Okay? Because that fool out there, that the California governor with his fake ass, he talking about running, which he probably will, because he think he that fly. Okay? Do you really think that bitches being able to get abortions, that's going to come before they pocketbook? If it does, they're idiots. Women ain't that dumb. There's a lot of dumb women, but all of them ain't dumb. Okay? You gonna put being able to kill a baby before your money? I mean, the stuff they be saying, dude, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you like what you hear, hit the like button. Try to draw as many people to the live stream as possible. Thank you. Women ain't that dumb. They ain't that hard up to get an abortion. You can't pay no bills with an abortion. Matter of fact, that becomes a bill. Because it ain't free. You're gonna pay, at least if you go to Planned Parenthood, you're gonna pay $200 or something, or one of their member clinics. I don't know what it is now, but and don't ask me why I know how much it is. I ain't trying to put my business out there like that, you digs? But over the last few days, man, I've been really paying attention to the news. And I remember I was driving out of town about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had some business I needed to take care of out in another city. And I went, and the town that I went to is probably 99.9% white. Okay. They might have some $5 Indians sprinkled around in there, but for the most part, I went and got a frappuccino, and what I noticed is number white folk up in there. So I'm sitting there, I'm driving through this town after I take care of my business to find that's the Starbucks I was looking for. And I'm driving down this one road or street, and I saw a plant. I forgot what they manufactured at that plant. I forgot what it was. And it might have been a dog food plant. I'm thinking, if my memory serves me correct. I think that's what it was. Anyway, I'm going, I'm driving down the street, and and it occurred to me that these people have ready-made employment here. Now, I didn't drive all around the town. I mean, this is a town of probably about 5,000. So we talking about little ass. We talking about a one stoplight town, damn near. Okay, I didn't drive around the whole town, so I don't know what's on other sides. Uh, Looks like they messing with the live stream. Guys, let me know if you can't hear me and see me. Okay, let me know as soon as possible, because uh so we could try to make other arrangements or whatever. Anyway, so I didn't get a chance to drive around the whole town, but I know I saw more than one factory coming in, and the one that was in town. And then, obviously the rest of the town was retail and some hospitality. You digs? D Fernandez, what's happening, man? Hope all is well, dog. So, and I start thinking to myself, this factory, let's just stick with that one factory. That one factory is feeding all them people in that town. Now, this is a rural area. It's right smack between a bunch of commercial farms and privately held family farms. And I was thinking to myself, see, them white supremacists are real slick. They're real slick. Because I've been to towns that size where 90% of the population was black. And there wasn't no factories, nothing around there other than retail and hospitality and churches. That was it. Bunch of churches, one grocery store. See how Negroes do? This is why I be telling this. See, black folks, this is where these are. If you just want a job and you don't want to go to college, you just want to you look ice. I don't have that. my expectations ain't that high. I'll take the factory job at Perina. I'll take that $15 an hour job. I'll take them 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I did it. Okay? I ain't ashamed. I did it. Anyway, when I drove around that white town, I didn't see any homeless people. I didn't see any crackheads. I didn't see no meth heads. I didn't see none of that. I didn't see vagrants around, all around. I didn't see any of that. But you go to the black rural town and there's no jobs. And this is, and I remember back in the day, I was driving to my daughter's college graduation when I was living in the ATL. And I'm driving, and anybody that's been down, who's driven to Alabama, I believe you got to take, if you're going to southern Alabama, you take, I believe it's 85 or something like that, whatever it is. Because I don't think it was I-20. It wasn't I-20. And what I found to be interesting was about 30 or 40 miles outside of town, off the interstate, there was a Kia factory. And it was, dude, this whole facility was huge. It wasn't just a factory there. I believe that was because there was a bunch of officers there too. What I believe is that is Kia's U.S. American operations corporate offices. But it was in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't nothing else out there. There wasn't even a town. But, and I'm telling you, if anybody's ever driven by that building, you know what I'm talking about. That building is huge. And it's not a, 10-story high rise. It's a one or two story building, but it's huge. It's like, I'll give you an idea. From one end of the front of the building to the other end is probably 2 blocks, 2 full city blocks. So you know how big, let's just say Los Angeles city blocks, which are huge. So that you talking about, this thing was huge, man. It was like a city. That's what it looked like. Anyway, think about all, and I told some cats with some paid subscribers. I told them, I said, hey man, I said, any of y'all in the ATL, if you need a job, a couple of guys said, yeah. And I said, well, why don't you go down to that Kia plant off of I-85? And Cass was like, well, where is that? I said, it's off 85, fool. Oh man, how far down? I said, probably about 30 or 40 miles. I ain't working there. And see, them white folks know that. Okay? They know that. They know you don't want to be inconvenienced, even though you ain't got no job. Okay? Sickening. But see, Sancho will get his ass up and go drive all the way down there. He'll drive 100 miles to that job. Because it's better than sitting at home looking at your old lady Okay? How you gonna be a beggar and you trying to be choosy? But I talk to plenty of black folks like that. Black men and women who get it, be like, I don't want to work in no place like that. How far I gotta drive? 20 miles? Man, that's too far. I'm like, you idiot. You're an idiot. You don't want to work then. You just up here playing. But that's somebody that's used to living with women. Probably living with his mama. Mama let him lay up and do nothing. Then when he get my age, if he lived that long, he'll be, he'll be disabled. He'll be all beat up. Probably be done got shot and stabbed. Because sooner or later it's gonna come to that. You're gonna be out here trying to steal. Anyway, I was thinking to myself how I was wondering to myself how you know you know their people are taken care of. Wow. And look, this is not an excuse to white supremacy. The white supremacists practicing this shit. If they what one thing I noticed, very few large plants like that. And I'm talking mainly manufacturing. Very seldom do they even move adjacent, even if it's in the rural suburbs. They still tend to not build those kinds of plants near large urban centers of black people. Sometimes they can't help but do it because maybe their suppliers are here or whatever the case is. But I was thinking, I was like, I bet everybody eating in this town. I bet everybody eating. I wonder if my people are eating. Now, I know some folks that live in Nashville, excuse me, Cashville, and they got a Nissan plant there, a big Nissan plant there, and I think they got a big. I don't know if the Honda plant is near Memphis. No, I mean Nashville. But there's several. I think Mercedes Benz has a factory in Tennessee somewhere. Tennessee. So sometimes they can't help it. Now, there's a lot of black people in Nashville. A lot of black people. Okay. And I was saying to myself, black people don't want to be that savvy. That still does not give these white supremacists the excuse to be discriminatory in making sure black folks don't get hired at these plants where they got them good jobs, them stable jobs. Because even if they don't pay that much, say they only pay $13 an hour, it's steady work. Plus you getting overtime. Okay, plenty of overtime. I remember when I lived in Michigan, the people that I knew that worked at GM, because I think all they had was GM plants in that town. Everybody that I knew that worked at GM, man, they worked 7 days a week, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And yeah, them people lived good. They had brand new houses when, I couldn't even think about buying a new house back then. Bad as my credit was, or our credit. And so I those people had money, but they never had no time off. The only way they can get time off was like taking PTO time or taking vacation. That's the only way they went to somebody's wedding or somebody's funeral or somebody's uh, somebody's graduation. I'm like, how do you do that? You gotta be a tough son of a gun to do that, man. But the thing that I'm trying to impress upon you guys is this: where there's no jobs, there's no hope. Where there's no jobs, there's no financial independence. Where there's no jobs, there's no good place to live. Where there's no jobs, there's crime and drugs because there's no job. People ain't got no hope. So it's like, well, why not smoke crack? I wouldn't choose to do that, but some people make that choice. You digs? So, as I pointed out when I was giving you the example of when white folks live in towns, they make sure they got factories and stuff there, at least factories to give the people jobs. Okay, that's why I say I remember back in the day, people was like, when is Walmart gonna build a Walmart in black neighborhoods? You know, back then, Walmart was the shit back then. You know, Walmart was like what Amazon is today. You digs? So, I was thinking to myself, and that's why I titled this broadcast, uh, "How do black men feel about being replaced?" How do you feel about being replaced? Because that's where we're headed right now. We're headed that way. Whether I like it or you like it or anybody like it, we headed that way. And we're headed that way faster in these cities than we are in the rural areas. But the rural areas getting rid of Negroes too. Okay? Like up here. Instead of like, there's this thing, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Are they trying? Is the media trying to pretend that crime is out of control? Do y'all believe crime is really out of control like that? Like they trying to pretend on Fox News and even on the liberal news outlets? I don't think crime is that bad. I think it's an issue of police not police retiring. A lot of police have retired and quit in a lot of these major cities. Because even here in this low ass, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis police lost about 200 cops after that George Floyd situation. No, they lost 300. No, they lost 200. And they struggling to hire more. They're struggling. Used to be, it was standing room only when they open up testing for firefighter or a police officer. Okay. Remember, they're hiring black women, whether they ghetto or not, whether they can do the job or not, they will hire women. And a lot of these white women pull that shit too. they be hiring these black women, and because I be, I used to bone a lot of hood rats in, back in the day, right after I got divorced. I cut a few of them hood rats. They were easy. So, and I remember this one chick telling me that she had a job at this place. And I was looking like, because I was, her place was nice, but it wasn't, you could tell somebody that didn't have class lived there. Okay. It wasn't nasty, but you could tell that that's a prop job plane. Like, what the hell is that? So I was thinking to myself, I said, man, where does this leave us? And getting back to that situation with North Minneapolis, for some reason, the local stations here are always showing cats up here shooting at each other. And then in almost every week for a minute, there was somebody getting killed. It was a lot of kids getting killed last year by stray bullets. And I mean, that, obviously that's heartbreaking to see them little black kids look, they ain't nothing but babies. Some of them like 4 years old, 3 years old. Just like, or they in a coma, major head injuries. Only good thing about it is for a child, they will heal a lot better for wounds like that. But anyway, I'm not saying that you should go out there and get smoked. That ain't what I mean. Anyway, these guys need jobs. That's why they out there thugging. That's why they out there shooting at each other, because these guys need jobs. Don't let see when these Democratic shills or these ass kissing, boot licking Democratic voters tell you that ain't nothing wrong, it's just y'all young folks just acting a fool, or they say something like, "Well, Mayor so and so said he gonna fix that. Governor so and so, he a good white man. He said he's gonna help us." They start sounding like that. And when they say shit like that, your comeback should be, "Well, nigga, how long do I have to wait before I get mine? I'm already 40 years old. How much longer do I need to wait, Pops? Because you 80 years old and you ain't never had nothing, they want nothing but a job at the plant, whether it paid any money or not. You didn't aspire to do anything else. As long as you wasn't in them cotton fields, that's all you cared about." You digs? So what they did, instead of trying to, find an economic solution to this crime problem, what they gonna do? They doing just like they did in Los Angeles. Start making them gang injunctions. Okay, So they brought in, so that here come the U.S. attorney for Minnesota, standing his monkey ass up there on TV, running his damn mouth, talking about, they gonna, give you federal time if you shoot somebody or whatever. Look, I'm not condoning shooting anybody or stabbing anybody, doing any violence, but I'm just telling you what the root cause is. These guys, they're out here trying to sell dope in a very small area. North Minneapolis ain't that big. On a good day, you might even be able to walk through North Minneapolis. If you got some good legs, it ain't that big. It's only a few square, only like a couple square miles. Maybe a little more than that. But still, it's it's that's their way of dealing with it. Because if it was some white boys over there doing that, they wouldn't bring in no U.S. attorney and forming a federal task force. They wouldn't be doing that. You know that. They'd be trying to fix the problem. But with Negroes, oh no, we just gonna, we just gonna, take the easy way out and lock these niggas up. So the punk ass mayor of Minneapolis and all, had all these FBI agents and local cops standing up there trying to look tough. And I said to myself, so that's how you deal with us. Like they did with the crack problem. Lock them niggers up, destroy them families, shoot niggas in the street, jack drug dealers. See how they do? But now that Hunky McGee is ODing, now we got to start building, treatment facilities. White folks have gotten rich off of federal money as it relates to drug addiction. If you want to make some long ass money, open up a drug rehab spot and hire some licensed licensed clinicians to work in there and make sure you're in compliance with the state. You understand me? Billions of dollars. Because all of a sudden, a lot of drug treatment places start popping up. Most of the time, they didn't even have them in the city. They were out in the burbs. But now you got churches. Like there's a church. I used to, as a veterans advocate, I used to send some veterans over here to this one church that had a small homeless shelter in there. And they only had they only had about 30 people in there. But if they get in there and you let them know every day that you need a bed, they'll make sure you straight. So I used to send my guys over there instead of sending them downtown to that disgusting uh, uh, Salvation Army spot. Do you know the Salvation Army is a multi-billion-dollar operation, and all they shelters look like toilets, look like the inside of a nasty toilet at the drive-in movie theater? You know how nasty those were. It's about as clean as a bathroom at a Mexican restaurant. Okay. But This is the type of shit we get. Law enforcement, we get court, we get the criminal justice system. We don't get don't nobody pump no jobs. They don't put no jobs where we live at. They got all these factories around the Twin Cities, and we got all these black men out of work. You know why I know that? It's a conspiracy against not employing black men, because when I came up here one time, I couldn't find a job for 3 months. I couldn't find a job. This is a long time ago. Long time ago. I couldn't find a job. And I had to sleep in my car until, I got my first paycheck from some fast casual, type of job. It wasn't fast food. It was, like Denny's level and up. I wasn't making no money, even as a manager. So it took me 1 or 2 checks before I can afford to go get me a crib, which is what happened. But I think I slept in my car for like 2 weeks. Boy, I was tired of that shit. You digs? I couldn't find a job nowhere. And which is one of the reasons why, I'd be remiss if I didn't crawl into my ex-wife's pocketbook for some stuff. Okay. But I'm gonna wait until it's my time to do it. But I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get that cash up off her. Okay? That's what happened when you an asshole. Anyway, I couldn't find a job anywhere. Ain't that a shame? I mean, I went to these companies directly. I looked online. The internet was, just starting to pop off. I did everything. I sent out resumes. Never even got a call back. Then when I started going downtown, I started, when you get, the older you get, the smarter you get. And I started really, I got off that, where them white girls at, all, playing around doing that type of shit. I stopped, by that time I was starting to slow down on doing that. I mean, I wasn't chasing no white women, but I was spending most of my time in the bars and the clubs. So I was pulling women, and I didn't have my shit together. Finally, I had to go to a temporary job agency. I had to go to a temp agency to get a job. Okay? And I worked that job long enough until that restaurant job popped up. That assistant general manager job popped up. And I took that. It paid more, but it was salary. So I was working 50 hours a week and all that old shit. Okay? But there was a few bitches that worked there. Anyway, I started realizing, because I really started peeping white people's stilo. And I said, man, look at these honkies. I would go to somewhere like Mall of America and I just watch white people. Okay. And I noticed the white people that had money, and you could tell they weren't worried about shit. They didn't even see niggas. Y'all kind of understand where I'm going with this? They didn't see niggas. Because when you bringing in 250K a year or more, remember, you don't give a shit about the little guy. And let's face it, sometimes you can look at somebody and tell how much money they make. Sometimes you can't tell. But most of the time you can. And I'm going to tell you that it's not a good feeling to be invisible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button. And remember, this channel is not monetized, so it would be appreciated if you could hit the Cash App on the strength. Can you dig it? So that pissed me off because that was the first time I really started paying attention to that kind of stuff. Before, I probably wasn't mature enough to see it. I didn't have my third eye open. That's what I meant. I wasn't seeing things with my third eye, which is an actual thing, according to the late great Dr. Cress Wilson. That's what melanin affords you, and you notice these other races don't have that. They don't have common sense. They just do whatever they want to do. As long as you ain't doing it, that's all that matters. Like I'm pumping gas at Costco today. I didn't go in Costco. I just went to the gas station. I go in there to fill my tank up. Usually midweek or end of the week, I fill my tank up for the weekend in case I go out of town. I've already got gas. So I'm pumping my gas, and there's this flabby, out of shape, bozo the clown, balled up here, hair all out here on the sides and in the back. Flabby ass. He's wearing a shirt like this, and he's all flabby and fat. And he's giving me that. Who this nigga think he is? He's looking at me like that. And I turned around and looked at his ass like that. I didn't say, what the hell you looking at, but I would have had he kept doing it. See, you got to understand, there's so many African coons up here. There's so many black coons and mammies up here and Sambos that they always expect a black man to acquiesce to their ass and bow down and kiss the ring. Iceman don't do that. Iceman don't have to do that because I got something called talent and skills. So I ain't got to work at your punk ass company. Okay? So he looking at me all crazy. And I catch white dudes doing that all the time. Mainly white dudes, some white women know. Especially white women I turn my nose up at. They think they fine, but yet they face look like the crypt keeper. All of a sudden they get fined because they see a black man close to them. But if it was a store full of white dudes, they'd be invisible, like niggas are to white supremacists in this country. I'm telling y'all, man, a lot of y'all, when I talk about this kind of stuff, a lot of times, a lot of brothers like to just tune out because If you ain't talking about grabbing a passport and doing sex tourism and passport pimping, which just makes you look like a trick. You just an international trick. They think that all black men chase fat white women or chase ugly women, period. Black men take anything. And there are a lot of niggas that do act like that. Too many to count, though. It's more thirsty, sorry niggas out here with no game than it is niggas like me and you who have some kind of discriminatory taste in women and standards. This is the nigga that's, he's skinny like a rail, like, Whitney Houston. He just got out of prison, and he at Walmart where all the niggas go. His woman got pajamas and house shoes on. All the kids got dirty ass fucking house shoes and pajamas on. Their hair sticking all up on their head, look like cats been playing in it. Nobody's combing them nappy ass hair, or none of them nappy ass heads. And I'm not saying that to be negative, because nappy ain't negative. It's only negative if you a self-hating coon or a mammy. And these people are jealous of us. I'm quite sure Caucasian women or white supremacist females stare at black women the same way, which is why they don't never want no fine black women around. They always go get some fat, stanky looking mammy looking like a slave to hang out with, so they can make fun of her ass and make little racist comments that her dumb black ass will let slide, or pretend like she didn't hear it, or laugh along with them, which is what a lot of mammies do. Self-hating mammies. Anyway, when these people look at you and you and I with contempt like that, you need to read their behavior, because that might be somebody that might think they can walk up behind you while you pumping gas and shoot you in the back of the head and jump in a pickup truck and run with their little punk asses. See, a lot of y'all, hey man, Ice man, that kind of racism, man, that ain't real, man. That shit ain't real. It ain't that bad out here, man. I got a white girlfriend. None of my white friends be talking crazy to me, and I'm like, even if they did, you wouldn't admit it, fool. Fuck out of here. I keep my head on swivel. I don't care who's around. Niggas, nigga Asians, niggas. Okay? I'm looking around, because you ain't gonna catch me slipping. If nothing else, I'm gonna hop in that car and pull off. I might run into something, but at least I tried to get the fuck away, because I ain't strapped. Y'all digs? So people will, especially a lot of young brothers will say, "Oh, Ice man, you ain't gotta be that vigilant, man. It ain't that serious out here, man. I'll be messing with white girls. White boys don't be saying nothing." I said, "Yeah, because you ain't paying attention, or you pay, or you don't care. because you think that's your buddies. You know, I was looking at something else heartbreaking. I was looking at, they had this show on where they were talking about people who were missing. And there was this young brother who he was born with one arm, with one hand, but he still ended up becoming a geologist. He went to college, got his degree, you know, and they, you know, his dad was retired military, combat engineer. Mom was some old fat mammy, and they all lived in North Carolina. They had his sugar booty ass brother on there uh trying to explain stuff, like the mother and the dad didn't, you know, the mother and the dad were articulate. They weren't ignorant, you know what I'm saying? But they kept putting his little sissified ass up there. Anyway, the boy got a job with a water company or maybe it was some type of engineering company. And he took when he took the job, he moved to the Phoenix area, Buckeye, Arizona. I tried to get I tried to rent a room from a dude in Buckeye, Arizona. This old racist motherfucker was like, "Hey, I need to do a background check and all this. Let me get your license?" I'm like, "Man, you ain't keeping my fucking license." Talking about I can't let you move in until I do a man, he was some little short, little out of shape, fucking badly built white dude. That's why I say Phoenix is racist as hell. Anyway, uh, they was like, well, you know, uh, his he let some woman with a he let some woman with a kid. He let a woman with a kid move in, and she she ran game on his ass. Okay, she ran hella game on him. And so I started laughing at his ass. Then I was like, "Oh, so you a simp, huh?" You know, obviously that word wasn't out then. I think I probably called him. I said, I said, "Oh, you let her get in your pockets, huh?" I said, "Well, that's how y'all roll." But anyway, I moved on. I found a better place to live anyway. Anyway, his son, and now back then, now I don't know how it is now. Buckeye is about 20 miles, 20, nah, probably about 15 to 20 miles outside of Phoenix. And when I mean outside of Phoenix, I'm talking about like the outskirts of Phoenix. So from where I eventually got a place to, if I was to drive to Buckeye, it would be about a 30-mile trip. So we ain't talk, you know, we're talking about little ways here. So his son was working for some big engineering company or some drilling company or something. You know, one day they just stopped hearing from their son. Okay. Now, sometime he had to drive, you know, he had a Jeep 4x4, a Renegade. So he, you know, obviously he can go off road out there. And you know, there's mines out, old mines from the 20s and 30s out there. So they about 3 or 4 days later, they find his car tipped over on the side like this. and it had a considerable amount of damage to it. And his clothes were strewn all over the place outside the car. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, oh, this ain't gonna end well. And his father flew out there because he was retired military. He flew out there, got a place, and started searching for his son. And I mean, man, every lead turned up nothing. Now, Buckeye police, or was it the county that that encompasses that town? I think it was the county. But then I think uh yeah, Buckeye Buckeye police was also investigating. Now, at first I was like, when I first heard that that he went missing way out there, I was like, this is not good. Because I was thinking Buckeye Buckeye police was gonna do a shitty ass job investigating this disappearance. So a month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months, so on and so forth. And and it was heart wrenching. And after a year went by, some of those white people were still coming out there helping it, which I thought was great. Wasn't too many white males out there, but it was a lot of white females out there. They didn't find any trace of him. His cell phone lost service out there. After a while, they would call and go straight to voicemail. They talked to a girlfriend that he was dating, but they never said anything else about her. So they talked to guys that knew him, so-called friends. Nobody knew nothing. Nobody knew anything. And you know what? It didn't click until they start showing pictures of him and his friends. And you know what? There wasn't a black friend in that group. You understand me? People don't just go poof and disappear. I think the Buckeye Police Department in that county, I think they did a shitty job. I believe they half-ass investigated that disappearance, which now can pretty much be ruled that it's a homicide because they can't find him anywhere. And they said even if he did become delirious with, even if he did become delirious with dehydration, that's not going to make him take off all his clothes like that because his underwear was on the ground too. Now, they said that there's no other tire tracks anywhere around there. And what they think, the Buckeye Police Department, and what they was, and what I think, because they couldn't find a trace of him, I think they just was like, well, you know, hey, we just, we ain't gonna put no more resources into this. What some folks were saying, some of the people they were interviewing, one cop was saying he thinks he probably wandered off because see what he does, because a white dude that worked with him, he said they use their own vehicle, and he said normally we're in the same area, we're kind of in the same area, and he said this time he went off by himself. And I was saying to myself, something ain't right here. Some don't pass the smell test. I think two issues come to play here, maybe more than two, but let's talk about the main two. First of all, he got all white friends and no black friends. So he's one, so he, and I'm not trying to disparage this guy because he's probably deceased, but he probably was a coon because the way those pictures looked, it looked like he was one of these all lives matter type dudes. Uh, and he was one of these Bochum Jean type dudes. Got nothing but white friends. You digs? So those two things, that and the fact that he's in racist ass Arizona in a rural, very small town, which got a bunch of rednecks. Something happened to that dude. I don't think he wandered off nowhere because the way they were searching for him, they were searching in areas where obviously he wasn't. And when a sheriff deputy finally found the car, because the car was off a ravine. The car was in a ravine. Like, you know how you know how you on the freeway and you look down, that's like 12, 13 feet down, down a grade like this. It was one of them situations. Okay? Something happened to that boy. And then they spread out and they searched that like a square mile of that area, and they were saying if he was dehydrated, that wouldn't make him take his clothes off. That's the one thing. That's one thing. Second, if he was in that, dude, it's 110, 115 degrees out there. It's hotter out there than it is in Phoenix. And Phoenix is 110 degrees. So I was thinking to myself, there's no tracks coming from that area other than his vehicle falling off that ravine. There's no sign, no footprints, no nothing. There was no sign of a struggle. Yeah, some of the contents of the back of the, back in the hatchback area was still in there. You digs? So it disturbed me that, and see, this is, now I'm not saying having a black friend gonna save your life. That's not what I'm saying. George Floyd had a friend with him when he got murdered. Nobody disappears like that. And when you around and you in an area where there's a gang of white supremacists, because there's a lot of them in Phoenix, there's no telling what happened to him. That's horrible, man. And they covered enough area where they looked around that whole area and they didn't find any footprints. They didn't find any sign of human life. They early on they found a skull, but it was the skull of somebody else. That whole situation stinks to high heaven. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. So I bring that up because it has something to do with what we're talking about tonight, but not a whole lot. This is why in the military we have the buddy system. They'll assign you at least one other guy, and that person watches your back. You watch his. And women, same thing. This is how you don't end up getting your ass whooped when you're off base by the locals. You digs? So black men, we need each other. Those of you who feel you don't, get the hell out of here. I don't want to talk to black men who on that, I'm gonna do me shit. The reason why black men are the most that got the highest unemployment in this country is because of that kind of attitude from the baby boomers, our father's generation or your grandparents' generation. They left us on stuck like that too, because they just wanted to do them. And now look at us. Look what kind of shape we in today. And just like the title of the topic of this broadcast is, how do you, as a black man, how do you feel about being replaced? They still bringing Indians over here on H-1B visas for IT. They're still bringing. They already done let in about 4 million of these illegal aliens up in here. And check my Instagram account. I posted some stuff off of Fox News that'll have you tripping. Okay. People, we ain't gonna make it. The next generation of black men ain't gonna make it. Not this one right now. The next one. The kids who are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. When they become an adult, it really ain't gonna be shit out here for them. It ain't nothing out here now. You don't see no homeless Asians. And if you do, that's a 1 out of a million. That person must have really messed up with their family, or they real Americanized. The reason why you see homeless black men, because we got too many black men out here talking about, I'm gonna do me. Fuck you. And black women, they giving them the jobs, brother. Even if they ain't qualified, they getting them jobs, bruh, because that throws off the balance of power dynamics. If a black man, even if you do make 6 figures and above, you still gonna get disrespected. Women still gonna try to play you cheap. I do okay. No, this channel is not monetized. That's why I put the my cash app there, the $ capital M MoorishOG. That's why I put that on there. All right, let me put it in. Let's see something here. So we're being replaced. They are letting 6,000 to 8,000 of these illegal aliens in here a day. And President Old Ass, he got another couple years. Just think how many, and let me tell you something, the Republicans ain't gonna do shit about it either. Okay? Even though Trump was throwing a bunch of them out of here when he was president, they were still letting them in here. Now, maybe not the way they letting them in here now. That's why I'm laughing my ass off when Governor Abbott keeps sending their ass up to the New York and Martha's Vineyard and all up in there. Oh, y'all want these motherfuckers over? Y'all want these motherfuckers over here? I tell you what, we gonna send them directly to you. Matter of fact, they sent a bus of them immigrants all the way to right in front of where the vice president residence is. They dropped them off right there in front of Cop Mala Harris's house. Her and her zaddy. And they still talking like they gonna win the midterm. Man, Any of y'all, if you made the mistake of voting for Biden and you seeing all this racist ass shit that's coming out of that administration and how they just straight up ignoring black folks, the people that put his sorry ass in office, and you take your ass down there in November and vote the midterms, vote for Democrat down ballot or whatever that dumb shit people be saying, and then come 2024, you vote for his old ass again, you need to be shot. You should be shot. I mean that. You should be shot on sight because this is not funny, people. The economic policy like this threatens the survival of our people. If you have no job, you can't eat. If you can't eat, you starve. If you don't have shelter, you're exposed to the elements. And trust me, from somebody that's been homeless, I can tell you, that's one thing you don't want, because I guarantee that's one of the most mind stretching, stressful situation. You ain't got nowhere to live and it's raining. And you ain't got nowhere to hide. Most of you would kill yourselves. You would. Because your mind don't don't work like that. You don't know how to survive. And you think your kids' generation is gonna survive with this kind of mindset out here? You out of your damn mind. Now these goofy ass Democratic shills, these scary self-hating niggas, they gonna vote. They gonna vote for Democrats no matter what. They gonna go out there and vote for Jim Bojangles Clyburn, even though they know he ain't done nothing. He's got one of the poorest. He's got one of the poorest congressional districts in the country. But they don't vote you. They don't pick you to go to Congress if you are a maverick. Okay? If you about change, they ain't gonna put you. Nancy Pelosi don't want to see you. But if you're gonna keep things the way the way they are, like Ilhan Omar over here, you'll get reelected every year. And they'll throw millions of dollars behind your campaign like they do her ass. I mean, Minneapolis don't look nothing like it did when I first came up here well over 25 years ago. It don't look nothing like this. It didn't look nothing like this. It seemed like I don't think there was no more than 700 to 800,000 people in both cities combined back then. Now we got over 1 million people in this greater Twin Cities area. That's why they keep, widening the freeways here. They've been working on I-35. I don't know how long. They just finished that when I got up here. This time, I used to mess with the white girl whose family had that general contractor contract with the state of Minnesota. They were filthy rich. I looked their asses up. That family's worth 160 some million dollars. How I ran into her. She wasn't no dime. I mean, she was average looking. She had a real nice body. She was about a 5.5. I mean, not that, I didn't give a shit. I wasn't looking for no girlfriend anyway. She showed me pictures of her in polo and taking equestrian classes. And you don't play polo and you middle class people. And she had like a $400,000 house, big old house. And she lived there by herself, way out there in Lakeville. Shit, that's 50 miles from here. Okay? She said, I can't introduce you to my family. She said, my family are dying wool racists. She said, my family is may be college educated and multimillionaires and all that, but that you still don't want to deal with them because she said they're as racist as calling you a nigger to your face. Now, a lot of people don't think those kinds of white supremacists live up here. But if you live up here any amount of time, sooner or later, you're going to see Confederate flags up here too. That's why I keep telling people, like, oh, ICE, it ain't racist up there, man. Shit, you in the upper Midwest. That ain't the South. That's what dumb niggas say. And I always keep reminding them, George Floyd was murdered up here in Minneapolis, not Philadelphia, Mississippi. And then they shut up then. Let me get this son of a bitch out of here. I see a dickwad in here. Exactly. Racist as hell up here. And the farther north you go, is even more racist. I had a cousin that he used to go to college up there. And he was talking about all these white girls he boned. This is in the 70s. And I looked at that. I didn't even say nothing. I was just like, man, this nigga running his fucking mouth. I'm like, nigga, you wasn't getting no pussy up there at that school. You might have found one fat bitch to fuck you, but that was it. Not no 70s. Niggas wasn't fucking with white girls back then. Number Jim Brown and Fred Williamson. Diggs. Yeah, Chicago, racist as a motherfucker. Brown sauces, what's cracking, man? For sure, for sure. Oh, white girls in Chicago fuck with niggas because I met one. I used to mess with one in Chicago. I was the only one though, because I wasn't gonna talk to none of them ghetto ass West Side, South Side black women. If they wasn't from way out there back then, if they wasn't way out there 20 miles out, like damn near the I-94 out there going toward Calumet City, if they weren't way out there, I didn't fuck with them. Now, if they were some of my relatives, some of their friends, yeah, I hollered at them. But outside of my family, man, I wasn't fucking with none of them broads. Okay? I don't know what to tell you, player. I know if I was living in Chicago, it'd be on and popping. You can get pussy. What about the Puerto Rican chicks? I ain't talking about no Mexicans, because Mexican didn't come up there till maybe the last 20, 30 years. What about them Puerto Rican chicks that's from there? They ain't give you no play? You must not have your shit together, brother. But yeah, Chicago's very segregated. I almost moved to Chicago in the late 80s. Man, I'm so glad I didn't do that. Man, I had a job set up with Chicago Police Department. They were hiring like crazy back then. My aunts was like, "You come stay with me, nephew." No, he come stay with me. Man, I'm so glad I moved to Chicago, man. Chicago, for some reason, that humidity just messes with my sinuses. That city's too big for me. That's why I didn't like Atlanta. Atlanta too goddamn big. I don't like being around all them people. I grew up in a major city. I don't want to be in no more major city. That's why coming up here wasn't no big deal. That's why I was considering moving to Tampa, because Tampa might have a 1.5 million people, together with St. Petersburg. I was thinking about moving down there and getting me a boat, sell this house and get me a boat and live on that. But black men, we got to stop playing, because I don't know if you're paying attention or not, but the race war has already been going on. Matter of fact, it's been going on for 500 years. When you gonna get in the game? When you gonna suit up and get in the game? Because I'm in the game. And I ain't talking about no EA Sports either. Playtime been over. Because a lot of guys be like, "Hey, Ice, man." Yeah, that's true. That's one thing I want to say. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get back on topic. The interracial dating right now ain't working too well. Dating, period, ain't working. You know why? Because a lot of these women, money is fucked up. After that unemployment ran out, after that moratorium on paying rent, now look at these hoes. Black women are the number one. They are the number one population in getting evicted. I guarantee some of that is because of black women's badass attitude. Because they was talking shit to them landlords. "Oh, I ain't gotta give you no rent, nigga." Boy, but when that moratorium ended, and Hackmead came over there to get that rent money, all of a sudden she starts showing a little titty. Okay? She starts showing a little tit. She starts showing a little bit old tibbies. Girl, let me see them bit old tibbies. Okay? So dating, look, man, this climate, this social climate right now, it ain't conducive for dating. I'm gonna be honest with you. It really ain't. Cause while I've shot a couple words at some of these white girls or some of these sisters, I got a little play, but I ain't get that much play. Now I've gained a lot of weight because of this fucked up shoulder and just feeling depressed because I can't, I'm very impatient. And I saw my surgeon Monday, and I told her, I said, my problem is I'm impatient. I'm hella impatient. And that doesn't help. That doesn't help. That doesn't help me. So I haven't been working out like, I mean, I've been riding my bike, but I haven't been doing it every day like I should before it get too cold out here. That may have something to do with it. But then again, a lot of women look frustrated. The only women who don't look frustrated are the stay-at-home moms. And when I mean stay at home, I don't mean you stay at home and you get welfare. I remember I met this raggedy ass Hispanic chick on POF years ago, and I said on your page it says stay at home mom, and she was like, yeah, I stay home with my children. I said, hold up here. I said, do you live with a man? She was like, no. She was like, I live by myself, but me and my kids. I said, the only way you could be, I said, are you receive? I said, is your husband, are you a widower? I mean, are you a widow? She was like, no. She said, I've never been married. And I said, are you disabled? She said, no, I ain't disabled. I went down the checklist. I said, I said, forgive me for saying this, but there is no, I said, the only way you could not be disabled, not be a widow, and you stay at home and you ain't married or you ain't living with nobody. I said, are you independently wealthy? She said, no, my family ain't got no money. Well, I said, well, the only other thing it could be, you on public assistance. I didn't say welfare. I said public assistance. Man, that chick went off on me. She was like, how you gonna sit up here and ask me something like that? I said, is it true? I said, it's true. Girl, you know it's true. Okay. I was sitting up there, I was saying to myself, man, I was like, this chick on welfare. I said, if you don't get the fuck out of here, I ain't dating nobody on welfare. She wasn't, it'd be one thing if she was a dime. She wasn't no dime. Trust me. She was barely hitting a 5. Because she was kind of on the chunky side. She still had a nice body, but she was on the chunky side. She had a cute face though. I said, how you gonna be a stay-at-home? I said, the only way you can be a stay-at-home mom is you on public assistance. I don't fuck with broads like that. Even if they are dying. At this point, as old as I am today, dude, I ain't dealing with it. Because I saw this sister today that had a banging body. I went to go get some food. And she worked for the city of Minneapolis. I come outside the store and she's talking out loud, talking to this old man. There was a brother looked like he's 60, 70 years old out there scooping up them baskets in that hot ass sun. Man, it was 90 degrees today and like 90% humidity. It was like H-Town up here today. I hurry up and got my ass in the house and turned the air conditioner on. Man, hey, Justin, what's happening, player? Hope all is well with you, man. For sure, for sure. Appreciate it, brother. We in trouble, black men. I wish I could joke about this shit, but this is, dude. I've had cats who would troll my channel. This is before live stream. Would troll my channel, leaving all kind of stupid ass fucking messages. Then they open up they open up another channel and start right back up, you know, saying dumb shit in the comment section. I've had dudes like that who 2 years later I get an email and they like, "Hey man, Iceman, you remember me?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you, nigga? I don't know you." "Oh man, I'm my username for my channel was such and such and such and such." And at first I don't, you know, obviously I couldn't remember because it was, you know, years later. But then when they kept talking, I finally, you know, it took me a few days to figure out who it was. I said, "Oh, you that little bitch ass nigga that kept coming in my comment section talking stupid." Because I did a video on my experiences in Brazil, and this nigga kept coming by talking about I was down there raping little girls. You know, that made me want to look his ass up. But anyway, he finally was like, "Man, you know, I had a life altering event." And now he very serious now. Okay. I was like, "Man, I can't help you. I can't help you, dude. You see, this is what a lot of these young niggas do. They'll talk shit like a little bitch because that's what they see their mamas doing. They whole ass ghetto ass mama doing, and they be like, they try that shit on other black men. And when you deal with a black man like me or like some of y'all who are grown ass man, you might get your ass whooped. Okay? Because I get them guys on Facebook that do that shit, typing a bunch of little faggoty bullshit. Talking about, you know, trying to be that contrary nigga. I'm like, I don't expect people to agree with anything I say, but make an objective opinion, make an objective, thought out comment. They just being contrary just for the hell of it. I'm like, "You little punk ass nigga." I said, "You don't pick the right one, nigga, because I tell you what, if I ever find out where your ass is, nigga, I'm gonna put my size 12 shoe up dead in your ass." I said, "Man, you a bitch. You talking to a man you don't even know? Nigga, you don't know who I am. Better get out of here with that shit. Little faggoty niggas like that." Sooner or later, I get that email. "Hey, Ice, can I talk to you, man, on the phone?" I'm like, "Nigga, I ain't talking to you on the phone. You were that nigga that was talking shit. I listen to what you got to say, but nigga, I ain't doing nothing for you. Hey, man, I lost my job. I lost my place. Man, could you loan me $200? I'm like, "Nigga, can I hold something? Nigga, I ain't giving you nothing to hold. You better get the fuck out of here with that bullshit." That made me even more pissed off. Funny how tangle web we weave, huh? That's why I don't pay to be an asshole. That's why I remember I'm tired of talking about family. You know, I've dealt with niggas that were family adjacent, and You know, some niggas, you know how some niggas always talking shit all the time, but they just sarcastic. They don't, they hate, they a hater, but they pull up just enough for you not to whoop their ass. Okay? Everybody knows that kind of dude. He's the nigga ain't got no bitches, but he at the club telling you using the wrong approach to get women. Yeah, he over there in the corner sipping on a little bitch drink. Look like he drinking cranberry juice instead of some liquor and some cranberry juice. Fuck out of here. That nigga. A lot of them niggas end up fucked up in life, don't they? That's why I be telling people, man, don't pay to be no asshole. I told my ex-wife a long time ago. I said, don't think all this shit you doing and doing to my children ain't gonna come back on you. Not from me, but from karma. Because karma's got everybody's address. Sooner or later, it's gonna be your time. And being that I know my ex-wife is a coward, a certified coward, she can't take it. She couldn't take it. Okay? So black men, listen to me. We got to start getting on code, man. We got to start working with each other. Now I'm not saying that you should, because a lot of black men do this type of shit. They'll pretend to be down. They'll pretend to be a good brother. And as soon as y'all start talking offline, hear this nigga talking about, hey man, let me hold $50, let me hold something. Soon as they think that you got your walls down, here they go with that bullshit, asking you for money. And man, cause you cut cash at me $200, nigga, go fuck yourself. I ain't finna give you shit. I don't even know you, nigga. It'd be one thing if I knew you and met you in person. But you talking about you an unknown, invisible nigga. Don't nobody know your ass. You see where I'm going with this, fellas? It is too late in the day for niggas to still be playing and voting Democrat. I said this earlier. If Gilbert, what's happening, man? Oh, yeah, I heard it was 100 out there in SoCal, man. Black men, let me say this to you. I said this earlier. If you voted for Biden this last time, okay, that's water under the bridge. You done already fucked up. But let me say this to you. If you one of these self-hating, low self-esteem niggas that hate your race, you gonna go down there in the midterms and you gonna vote Democratic down ballot. And then when Biden get in there, you gonna vote. If he's gonna try to get reelected. Okay, he'd be a dumbass not to, even though he's too fucking old now. You digs? If you go down there and do that shit in that voter booth, you should be shot dead right here. And you know why I'm that serious about that? Because see, what's the difference between somebody shooting you or somebody putting you in a position where you can't find a job, you can't maintain a residence, you can't eat? Sooner or later, you're gonna starve to death. Because ain't nobody out here gonna help you and don't have no criminal record and no discipline. Because you can't go down there to the welfare office and get nothing. You ain't got no paper. They'll give Sancho a free ride with no paperwork, but they ain't gonna let you do it. They gonna want your birth certificate. They gonna want some pay stubs. They gonna want all that shit, and you starving yesterday. Why you think you see these niggas out here, especially in places like San Diego, LA, walking down the street out of their mind? They done been out there on the street so long. I didn't get to that point. Okay, you understand me? I told one of my old ass uncles that's way into his 60s. He called me one time about 4 years ago, drunk and high on crack. And I told that nigga, I said, man, don't you ever call me in that state of mind again. And I just went off on it. I said, man, this nigga's a woman beater. He's one of these niggas, every bitch he get, he whooped their ass. I mean, he's a real bitch made nigga. That nigga stuck his mouth out. He ain't spoke to me since. You think that's about me? No, it's about him. He's projecting his anger on me because he knows I told the truth about his ass. He's a fucking bum. Nigga barely retired from the army. Nigga done wrecked I don't know how many cars, driving drunk, smoking crack all the time, and then lying about it. I'm like, nigga, fuck you. I don't need to talk to your bum ass. Shit. Nigga didn't buy a house till he was 55 years old. Nigga, I'd have owned 3 or 4 houses before I was 40 years old. Just a bum. He's that nigga I told y'all about. Remember back when I was in that master's program about 8, 9 years ago, and I told you that I was in class and that nigga called me while my phone was off. And I turned my phone off and I had a voicemail and it said, hey nephew, my girl, him and his then wife were getting ready to drive back to Baltimore from San Antonio, where she's from. And they were gonna rent this real big passenger van for because. And then too, this nigga adopted 3 kids that wasn't his. He think I don't know. Every time I asked him about it, he go stark raving mad. Man, why you keep asking me that, man? I said, because somebody else told me. Said, man, them kids ain't here. Because none of them kids look like him. He by my complexion. Every last one of them kids is as dark as a Hershey's Kiss. And their facial features don't look nothing like him. Now, they're very, very, and I talked to somebody else in the family. They was like, man, them ain't his kids. I was like, nigga, you a simp. That's another reason why I ain't got no respect for that nigga. Just a bum. But No matter what, the Iceman's still on the come up, ain't he? Nigga got old bullshit ass paper mache house over there and a brand new subdivision over there in the unincorporated part of the west side of San Antonio. Okay. You know, weed is acceptable. Pot has always been acceptable, whether people want to admit it or not. But crack, meth, and all that type of shit, that shit ain't acceptable. Anything that will make you OD, that is not acceptable. That's why, man, that fentanyl's tearing niggas up out here. Man, you think these niggas are ODing now? Man, there's so much. Man, they had a big seizure of fentanyl at the border last week. They'll use anything in them drugs. And man, they found these illegal alien. This guy had fentanyl pills that looked like that were made just like candy, like sweet tart. They were different colors. Now you know one of these high school kids, one of these college kids will take that kind of shit. They ain't got no street smarts, and they take that shit, end up ODing. Let me explain something to you. You know how much fentanyl that the average person is supposed to get without, so they won't OD? Barely enough to put on the end of this toothpick. Okay? Maybe a little bit bigger than that. We talking about like we're talking about a very small amount. We're talking about micrograms. This is how careful they gotta be. Because if you touch that shit, you could possibly OD that way. It didn't take much to kill Prince. And Prince had enough fentanyl in his belly, and in his bloodstream, to kill 170,000 people. That's how much that was almost the same as how that young brother up there in Akron got shot in the back 60 times. Just overkill. Prince wasn't no more than 5'2", 112 pounds. He got fucked up off a glass of wine. I'm like, damn. I have an app where you can do investments on there. Cause I don't like dealing with I don't like dealing with them assholes at Edward Jones and them financial consultant people. I don't like dealing with them assholes. They're always cocky, always egotistical. They're total jerk. They them type of white boys that think they so goddamn smart, and they try to act like they always joking when they ain't. You deal with assholes like that. So it's good that they have apps out here where you can invest your own money your own way. And I get how you get an alert? I got an alert, and guess what the alert said? Hilton Hotels, Hilton Incorporated, Amazon, Chobani, and about 12 other companies are planning to hire 22,000 refugees. Man, and the message board on there, it was white people talking about, well, what about Americans? Because, you know, most of the time, white folks would be like, just like when remember when gas got up to $6 a gallon, back when Bush was in there, Bush was president, what was white folks saying? I can pay it. How come you can't pay it? So it's always that asshole that messes it up for everybody else. That's one of them, I got mine, you get yours type people. Until, they kid get, kidnapped and they want everybody to drop what they doing. Like some white girl down there at LSU got shot in the head and there's no witnesses and no suspects at this time. And I look at Fox News during the early part of the day when the sensible people are on there, when the objective people are on there, not the morons that's on there at night, like Hannity and that old banana head idiot Laura Ingraham, or Tuck Fucker Carlson. Okay, I don't watch that shit. But early in the day, it's the regular people on. Okay. So I'm watching Fox News and I'm sitting there like, if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me right now on Instagram and Twitter. One handle at the Iceman Show. I posted some eye-opening videos on IG this afternoon. Boy, Fox News got my respect. Cause man, the dude, Neil Cavuto, he was grilling this Democrat out, this old Henry Cuellar. He's a Democratic congressman down there. He's a lawyer down there in San Antonio, in Stank Antonio. And before I left San Antonio, though, they were investigating his ass for some kind of fraud or something. I thought his ass would be in a ditch somewhere. But anyway, he was grilling him on it. Now, dude was, he was trying to talk a good game that he wasn't like the rest of those Democrats who want the border open. And dude was like, well, how can y'all call in these? He said, essentially, when you come into this is what Neil Cavuto said. He said, when you come into this country and you're not a citizen, you have committed a crime. You're a criminal. A misdemeanor. But can you believe it's only a misdemeanor to sneak in this country illegally instead of a felony? So he said, how come y'all call them migrants, like as though they have some right to be here, rather than calling them illegal immigrants, because essentially that's what they are. And he was like, I agree. He said, I don't know why they call them that, but I know that's coming from the Democrats. I wonder what New York, Chicago, and Martha's Vineyard and all these other places going to do when hundreds and hundreds or more of these lowlifes get bussed up to their area and flown into their areas. I wonder what they're going to do. Because 20 or 30, you might be able to hide them in some low-cost hotels. But when thousands show up, where you gonna stick them? Do you know this one illegal immigrant had the nerve? They took him to They took him to a um they took him to a shelter. I think it was a one of them I think it was one of those what kind of shelter was it? It was a uh Salvation Army. Do you know this dirty motherfucker said this motherfucker probably been wearing the same clothes for the last 3 years? Talking about it was too nasty and stinking at the shelter. And I'm saying to myself, motherfucker, you ain't even supposed to be over here. That's why every time I see them motherfuckers, I give them a nasty ass look. And they look scared. Oh, they don't try to act cocky like they do out there in California. They don't pull that shit up here. Because they know these Chicago niggas that get whipped their ass. They don't give me no nasty looks. I look at them just like this. What the fuck you doing here? I remember one time I went in the Guitar Center to look at some stuff and here they ass 4 or 5 of them come up in there. I said, where the fuck they get this disposable income where they can go and buy music instruments? Because ain't nothing in here cheap. But they give them no. And see, guys, let me say this to you before we move on. Guys, don't let these lying ass Democrats and all these other people and these illegal alien sympathizers lie to you and tell you that they're only taking jobs that black people don't want to do, like cleaning toilets. That's a lie. These motherfuckers are getting jobs in factories, making the same amount of money you make, or you would make if they was hiring black men. They getting union jobs, carpentry, electrical, plumbing. They ain't just taking jobs cleaning toilets at hotels or being nannies to these racist ass crackers, paying them $10 a day to work 20 hours a day. They are taking good jobs. Why do you think all them blue collar white men, remember that Joe the Plumber shit when Obama was running? That old phony ass Joe the Plumber wasn't even a real plumber. He was a Democratic shill or operative. That shit was so phony. Remember when that shit was popping off when Obama was running? Them white men was like, look, man, y'all got to stop bringing them damn illegal aliens into here. They take it, because see what they were doing, they was going to places where these meat packing places are, like up here. They got a bunch of meat packing places up here. They were taking them white boys' jobs. So they were like, Obama, you need to start, getting these motherfuckers out the paint. They taking white man jobs. And what did Obama do? He lied. Oh yeah, they was throwing him out of here, but he also came up with that punk ass Dream Act. That pissed white folks off. That's why, because when people say, man, how did Trump get in there? Ask Obama. Well, what you mean by that? Obama, and I said, listen, shut up, nigga, and listen. You know how Obama helped get Trump in there? He lied to them white folks the same way he lied to niggas. Black folks were forgiving. White folks ain't. And they remembered that shit because the same people that voted for Obama voted for Trump. I've seen interviews of, hey, why did you vote for Trump? Man, I've been a lifelong Democrat. My family, we've always been Democrats. Why'd you vote for Trump then? Because Obama lied. He said he was going to bring back blue collar jobs, and he sent more jobs out than he brought back. White folks don't play that, man. You ain't gonna lie to white folks. See, black folks are stupid. The ones that vote for Democrats, they stupid. White folks ain't gonna put up with you lying to them, especially not no nigga lying to them. Because remember, Obama raised over $1 billion in campaign funds. Obviously, had to give it back. That was unheard of. $1 billion, nigga, in a presidential campaign? Shit, they ain't raised half of that. I helped fundraise for Obama's campaign. That's one of the reasons why I don't like his ass. I'm out there, meeting with all these damn people running all over the city. And that nigga get in there and don't do shit for us. We ain't having that. I ain't the nigga you can lie to and I forgive you. That ain't me. I'm just like them white folks. You lie to me once, that's it. We're done. You only get a chance to fuck up with me once. Ask my family. The ones that want to call and ask for some money. You understand me? I don't play that. I don't play that when niggas trying to fuck my ex-girl behind my back or a girlfriend I'm with at the time. I don't play that shit. I know a nigga up here that does that type of shit. But karma came and paid a visit. And let's just say, instead of being impotent, he's impotent. Okay? Yeah, they all at the hotels, cleaning the hotel and working in Walmart. A lot of them work at Walmart. Hey, Shadow Band, your cousin play basketball or football? Yeah. Hey, they treat them dirty low life motherfuckers better than they treat even veterans. The VA be doing a lot of lying. Or they'll tell the public, "Oh, we take care of our heroes." You know what? If I'm a hero, why do I feel like you treat me like a zero? Man, them VA motherfuckers, they do everything they can to get out of providing certain resources, especially the black veterans. Anyway, black men, they are replacing you. Hey, y'all, remember I told y'all, and I might have just did this for the paid subscribers. I did a video, I don't know if it was last week or the week before last, or I don't even remember when it was, but I did a video that was similar to this one. And I was talking about how Ilhan Omar, as soon as she got elected to Congress, she divorced her Somalian husband and went and got some old punk ass white boy. See how they do? You think she gonna help us with some reparations? You think her sorry ass is gonna help us with black folks in North Minneapolis getting what they need and deserve? But I tell you what she did do. I used to live downtown Minneapolis. I used to live right next door to the University of Minnesota. So we had some students that lived in there too. So I was in a high-rise apartment down there. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I noticed they started building something across the freeway, across 35, maybe about a half a mile, no, about a quarter of a mile down. And I was like, well, damn, what did they build? The building was almost about a block away from the light rail, green line. No, the blue line. I used to ride my bike to uh the train station and then catch the train where I needed to go. Because I wanted, back then I was younger then and I was getting my exercise on. But anyway, when I saw the drawing, you know how they had a drawing, of what the building's gonna look like. This is like a 15-story building. As soon as they got half the building done, I was riding my bike past there one day to the train stop. I'm riding on my bike and I look over there and there's hundreds of Somalians standing in line to get an application for that building. Now, you know damn good and well, most of them are fresh out that dirt from over there in Somalia. So you know they got their own refugee status. So they ain't got no money. How the fuck are they? This is a brand new apartment building, not the older type of building that I was living in. So you know it was gonna be nice. Maybe not opulent, but nice. Because it's brand new. I didn't see now one American over there. And even if I guarantee all of them Somalians would, if I would have went over there and applied, all of them would have went before me. Because I guarantee the developer who built that building built it specifically for them for a situation like them refugees being put over there and the federal government paying the money. Y'all get where I'm going? That whole building is full of Somalis. Because right there in that area is a Somalian neighborhood. You go down that street past the University of Minnesota, and all you see is Somalian businesses, little bodega type stores. They got a movie theater over, a little tiny movie theater over there. They got all kind of shit over there, markets. They set these people up. That developer probably getting some tax break and some state tax break, a federal and state tax abatement, where they probably ain't gotta pay 25% of the taxes they should be paying for a building that size because they putting refugees in there. Because with some apartments, especially a major development like that, if the management company comes to them and say, hey man, we can fill 90% of these apartments up, excuse me, with Somalians. And that'll give you a tax break. Remember, all of them, these all they buddies. Now you know damn good and well they ain't gonna build no real nice brand new apartment building like that and move a bunch of Negroes up in there. You know they ain't gonna do that. Where they move us is the projects. Like all the suburban apartments in the suburbs, like in the working class suburbs, like cities like Crystal, Golden Valley. All of those apartments when I first came up here, it was number white folks in them apartments. Now you go over there and all the Negroes that lived in North Minneapolis are now renting 10, 15 years later. Now all them ghetto Negroes are out there in the suburbs now renting these apartments. So, because what they did is when they built that brand new Minnesota Twins Target field, that new baseball field, that was $300-something million. Okay, right downtown, not near the football stadium is about maybe 2 or 3 miles away. It's still considered downtown, but it kind of ain't. Yeah, it is. It is. It's still considered, but it's on the other end of downtown. See how they do? Ain't no money in doing right by black people. Ain't no money in that, people. Especially with people who don't look like us. Like some niggas is, these passport pimping niggas. These niggas some nigga was on Facebook trying to stunt. He up here gonna post a picture of him and some black chick, right? Talking about, hey fellas, I got my queen. And y'all need, he over there in Senegal. And I was just like, nigga, you stunting with that below average looking chick? She wasn't good looking. Nigga, you gonna spend thousands of dollars on plane tickets and up and down, up and down, up and down, and all these airports to fly somewhere 18 hours to go over there and get a below average looking chick? Nigga, you need your head examined. Nigga, when I did sex tourism trips, nigga, I fucked dimes. There was at least a 7 or 8 and up. I'm not gonna fly 10 hours somewhere to go fuck with some bitches that look worse than the ones that's over here, or just as bad. I didn't see what kind of body she had because you can only see her from the neck up. But I guarantee the rest of her probably wasn't nothing to shake a stick at. Nigga going, and then he up here talking about black men get your passports and all. And you know what? I wrote a lengthy response to that picture. I said, look, to each his own, but sex tourism is too expensive and it ain't worth it. And when I realized that these non-black women, as much as they suck dick, as much as they lick asshole, as much as they did all that freaky, nasty shit, they still didn't think enough of you to want to marry you. Now I had a dumb little young nigga say something to me one time. He said, "Well, who cares? Well, who cares if they don't want to marry you?" I said, "See, you little dumb nigga. You don't understand what I'm saying to you, because what I'm implying is that these women will fuck you, but won't take you seriously enough to be your woman. And that if you had half a brain, you would feel insulted like I did. Because everybody always thinks everybody want black men. Yeah, they're turned on by black men. Yeah, they like the fact that black men are the only masculine men on the planet. But that does not negate the fact that you are a third class citizen in your own country. Don't let that get lost on you, player. You think these foreign women are living in huts with bones in their noses, talking about unga bunga, me or no speaker English? They got the internet over there. Some of them been over here. You think you fooling somebody, nigga? With your one bedroom apartment having ass. You over here, you ain't even got money. You ain't even got a retirement plan, and you flying, spending thousands of dollars flying over to Brazil every other week. Do you know how high plane tickets are right now, just flying from Dallas to LA? I can imagine flying from the United States down to Brazil. It took us, that was a 10 and a half hour flight. Man, that was a long ass flight. I hated it. You're not wanted for, you're not serious, black man. Even if, look, I got 2 master's degrees. I do okay financially. I'm not rich. I own my own house. I got perfect credit. That still ain't enough. Okay? That still ain't enough, fellas. Now, if I played for the Timberwolves, or I played for the Twins, or I played for the Vikings, would it matter? Yes. If I was on TV all the time, would it matter? Yes. So in positive light, not negative shit. Here, Dinky Town. I used to call it Stinky Town. Okay? Stinky Town. Man, I don't even go over there no more. When I first got up here, man, my cousin took me over there. I wasn't impressed. He was like, man, let's go over here to Dinky Town, look at some hoes. Holler at these hoes at these bars. Because there's a couple little okay bars over there. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Okay? Plus, we were older too. I mean, we were just over there bullshitting. I mean, we weren't trying to pull no bitches out of there, but we was trying to have a good time. So, guys, let me say this to you. They're talking about 15 companies are talking about giving 22,000 refugees jobs at Hilton Incorporated, Amazon, Chobani Yogurt Company, because they got factories around the country, and several more that they didn't list. This was on Forbes.com. See how they do us? Goldman Sachs talking about they gonna invest $10 billion in black female owned businesses. Fuck black men. Now remember, these black women are a lot of these black women are narcissists So they took the bait, just like they took the bait for welfare, kicking their man out the house. Because you can't get food stamps and welfare Section 8 and have a nigga in the house. So they realized that, because some of my, people in my, that were older, when I was a kid, I'm talking like 8, 9, 10 years old. I noticed some women in, on both sides of my parents' families were single moms, even back then in the late 60s, early 70s. I was like, how come man, all these people in family got husbands, and how come them motherfuckers ain't got no husband? And my mom would straight up say, oh, that's because cousin so-and-so getting welfare and he can't have no man in the house. Remember that movie Claudine that came out in 74 with James Earl Jones and the late great beautiful Diane Carroll? We on the welfare. The whole soundtrack to the movie Claudine was dedicated to the welfare. Every time the social worker was going to come to the house, they hid the toaster, the can opener, music instruments, put raggedy clothes on. Yeah, Columbia Heights, man. Columbia Heights done went way. There ain't nothing but poor white trash over there now, and some old and poor Hispanic trash. Because now that they moved, they bringing all these illegal aliens up here. The black folks that already live here, where they gonna live at? See, this is how black folks get displaced. They don't give you jobs. They give black women jobs, but not the black man job, so he can take care of himself and his family. They give Sancho all the good jobs that should have went to you. Next thing you know, you ain't got no place to stay and you have no job. See how that works? If you don't believe this is happening all over the country, look at Los Angeles. They ain't never had that many homeless people in Los Angeles. You could see the tents from the freeway. Used to be they was just only on Skid Row down in downtown LA. They was just right there, down there by the missions and all that mess down there, the soup kitchens. Just filthy down there. Smell like piss as soon as you get out the car. They have moved this way, this way, this way, and this way. Not just Skid Row like they used to. And man, them people be shitting on the street, pissing on this, using the curb as a toilet. Then they got stinking ass dogs. White folks always gotta have an old dog. Motherfucker ain't got no job, no place to stay, but they got a dog. Dog just as skinny as they are. The dog been hungry so long, he too hungry to ask. Hey, boss, I was gonna ask you if we can eat, but because I'm hungry, but you know what? I ain't even gonna bother you. Because I know we ain't got shit. And most of them people down there that's homeless are black men and women, mainly black men, young black men. Yeah, you got some cats my age and older down there, but most of them, they young black men who are able-bodied, mentally capable. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But guess what? The city of Los Angeles, all they hiring is illegal aliens. Y'all be thinking this is a joke. They said by 2053, the black family's net worth will be zero. If your net worth is zero, where do you think you're gonna be living and eating and breathing? Huh? Because they moving the homeless people out of them. Man, the city of LA, they had LAPD just go down there and just, they had forklifts and trucks that would just take all that wood. They had to, pick up that tent and move so they can, clean the street of all that shit and piss all over the sidewalk in the streets. Piss just running down the street. That how you want to live, black man? With all your faculties working? Is that your future? Some of you will have that future. Some of you who are in this, who are watching this video today, gonna end up on the street in 2 or 3 years because you got a hard head and a soft ass. These people that come up here from the border, they get put on from the time they cross that border. They getting a handout, and they ain't even asked for it. But when you ask for something like reparations, which is your birthright, they telling you to go to hell. These people are not moved. They not coming up here to get power. They coming up here to be empowered. There's a difference. There's a difference between having power and being empowered. Power is you won the lottery. You won $500,000 from the lottery, from the state lottery. Okay, look, you feel like you stanky rich when it in it, but to somebody with a brain, that ain't nothing. That money ain't nothing. Well, what you gonna retire on? You still gotta live now. You get that $500,000. You go get, maybe you go out and get an expensive $80,000 car or truck, and you out here parking lot pimping at the club. Now, you got your little platinum around your neck. You dripping. I give you that. Got you a couple pinky rings. You and your boy, y'all fly. It looks like you are a success story, doesn't it? But you're only 25 years old and you got a whole lot more living to do. And $500,000 ain't gonna last 20 years. Now, unless you invest it, which you could do and live off the interest if you know what you're doing. But to people who don't know any better, the people you stunting in front of, which is niggas that ain't got nothing. To them niggas, you are a success story. To me, you just a fronting ass nigga with some quick cash in your pocket that ain't gonna last too long. Bobby Brown said he spent $1 million in a weekend. So if you got $500,000, you got half of that. Well, you could probably damn near spend it in one day. People looking at you say, oh, he rich. He got power. Because it seems like you do have power, like a drug dealer that makes a lot of money. It looks like he has power because everybody kisses his ass. All the bitches want to fuck him. But then he gets raided by the DEA and end up getting a kingpin RICO charge. And now he's doing 35 years to life for getting caught with 100 pounds of cocaine. Or they can tie that 100 keys to him. So he got Kingpin RICO charge, federal charge. You about to do man years. See how he ended up? The guy that got the $500,000, he went broke in a year. But he had power, didn't he? When you look at, and I made the example of the Power franchise with 50. I said they're profiling nothing but black drug dealers on here. And yet they always ended up dead like ghosts, or they ended up in prison for long periods of time. If you are empowered, that ain't gonna happen to you. Tariq Nasheed is the example of being empowered. He writes his own ticket and makes his own money. He ain't going to some company tomorrow, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, cussing, got to drink a pot of caffeinated coffee just to wake up. That damn near drink a 6-pack to go to be, relaxed enough to try to go to sleep. And you pass out. You don't go to sleep. You pass out. That's not the same. You do that every night. Some people do that shit every night. Come home and drink a half bottle of wine. Might even be a whole bottle of wine. For what? To get up the next day and do that shit all over again. You ain't got no life. You work every day, damn near. And because you black, they can get away with it. Where else you gonna go? We don't build businesses to employ our people. We too busy chasing ass or chasing zaddies. If you gotta chase a piece of ass, it will never belong to you. Because 10 times out of 10, you're gonna end up pulling out your wallet, paying for shit. Hey y'all, the channel is not monetized. So if you guys could hit a play on the Cash App, send 50 cents, $1, 99 cents, whatever you can afford. We ain't tripping. And the reason why I'm staying on longer tonight is because, I want to make sure people who are getting off work can get some game. Okay. So what I want to tell you guys is this in closing. This country is dead set on shitting on black men every which way but loose. And if we don't wake up and stop playing and start cussing out these old niggas my age that be up here talking about voting for Democrats and all this old shit, voting for Democrats so we can get crumbs. You need to start cussing them niggas out. Those niggas don't deserve any respect. The reason why I receive respect from people that don't know me is because I keep it 100. Sometimes to my own peril. Because people today just can't take the truth. But if I was lying to you, I'd have 20,000 I'd have 20,000 subscribers. If I wanted to blow smoke up your ass. So I say this in closing, brothers and sisters. When you have companies getting up here talking about helping 22,000 refugees who ain't even citizens of this country, getting them jobs, not at McDonald's, not at Burger King, at Amazon, Hilton Hotels, Chobani yogurt company. When they boldly sit up there and post that shit on social media and also announce this shit on the mainstream media channels, we're way past disrespect for the black man. We're way past that, brothers. That's why when they kill you, you should see all the white supremacist mayonnaise breath motherfuckers online talking about George Floyd got what he deserved and you get what you deserve too. I hope they kill all you niggers. And it's probably the guy working next to you at work that wrote that shit. Or the bitch work next to you that wrote that shit that grins in your face every day. Because you know how black folks are, especially young black men. If white folks don't call them nigger, they think they friend. And like I told y'all earlier, JL, what's up, man? 504. This is why I tell you guys, I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing this because I give a fuck. That's why I set the chat room to subscribers. The only subscribers can post in the chat room. All them little trolls that usually come by, you notice that ain't popping no more. Because see, one thing they not gonna do is subscribe. Okay? I ain't helping that nigga. I ain't helping that nigger. I could give a fuck. I ain't trying to make no money off YouTube. Okay? Don't let you end up being the dude that emails me out of the blue talking about you done lost your job and your mama kicked you out. Don't let that happen to you, black man, because those shelters are filthy. There's bacteria everywhere. You got niggas in there wearing the same socks for 3 weeks. Feet stank. I've walked through them shelters. It smelled like feet and ass in there. Is that where you want to live, nigga? And even they will be harassing your ass. You can't lay up in them shelters all day. You gotta go leave. You gotta leave the shelter. You can't come back till like 5 p.m. or like at least 4 or 4:30 that afternoon, that evening. You can't just lay up in there. They kick your ass out. If you don't want to end up like that, you better get on the good foot and stop looking at black men. Oh man, this is another competitor. Because see, that's how black men think. Even black men in the same family, they'll look at each other and be like, oh, you're a competitor. Your own goddamn brother is your competitor. Your own goddamn daddy is your competitor. Your own goddamn sister is your competitor. Your mama is competing against you for men. We got, hey man, living like a rat, living like a roach, black folks. We got away with that shit in the 2000s, early 2000s. That shit ain't working no more because Sancho is on your ass. He ain't got to have a college education. He doesn't have to have a high school degree. He probably ain't went past 4th grade. But you know what? The company that makes you fill out documents this high to get a job over there at that factory, he walks right in. No no social security number, nothing, or a fake social security number that the employer wink wink doesn't check. Yet they doing a full background check on your black ass. Mr. Iceman, we found something. Could you explain to me what that is? They ain't gonna. Sancho can be done kill somebody in Mexico, and they'll still hire him. See, you used to see 20 years ago, 30 years ago, back in the 80s, you could fuck off. You could fuck off. I know guys that fucked off all through their 20s and then get their shit together till they was in their 30s. You can't do that kind of shit no more. These employers already don't want to hire black men just for the simple fact that you're a black man. And you're gonna sit up, sometimes I listen to TBA's program. I don't listen to it a lot like I used to. There's always 30, 40, 50-year-old men calling in straight bums. Ain't got shit happening, and you 40 years old. And TBA would sometimes tell them dudes, man, I wish I could give you some good advice, but I don't think anything's gonna work because your energy is fucked up. There's nothing about you. I can't even see you, and I could just see how you look. You overweight, ain't you? Yeah. You got your own place? Barely. Just sorry. May not be their fault. But you think Hunky McGee and Miss O'Fay give a fuck about your situation, nigga? They ain't even listening to white folks that got the same problems you got. Man, it's been black folks, it's been past time to get your shit together, man. I'm not saying that if you 40 years old and you finally get a wake-up call, you just give up. No, you should still work toward at least getting a job, a stable job, and getting your own place. So you ain't no burden on nobody. I don't like living with people, even when I had to, or people offered. Because after a while, the mistreatment started. So I try to keep my own crib. And, I got plenty of bedrooms in this house, so I can sleep in a different bedroom every night. I ain't got nobody living with me. Man, I've met women. You got anybody living with you? Like, hell no. Well, just seem like every time I meet a black, I said, first of all, don't lump me in with no ghetto niggas working temp job. Don't lump me in with them niggas. I got 2 master's degrees, lady. I work for myself. Oh, see, black men get no respect. Hey, y'all, I'm about to bounce. I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna eat me something. Hey, appreciate you guys hanging with the Iceman tonight. Those of you who, if you did donate via Cash App, I appreciate it. It lets me know that you take what I'm doing seriously. Black men and women, let me tell you something. Don't give up. I was homeless almost 4 years. Okay, and now I'm a homeowner. But I was doing real good way before that. I didn't just pop up here. I had to save money to the point where sometimes I wash my clothes in the sink instead of going to the laundromat because I didn't want to spend the money. I'm disciplined to a, well, now I ain't, because nigga done got soft because of this damn surgery. Black men, we can't survive with us individually. Okay, if you hate black people that much, where you just the nigga that's always trying to, be a shiesty nigga every time you deal with black folks, you take black folks' kindness for weakness. Sooner or later, nobody's gonna take you seriously. And next time you call and you really do need some help, people gonna remember how you fucked them over, and you gonna end up ass out. Appreciate it, y'all. It's the MoorishOG, aka the Iceman, aka Denzel Sausageton. You're tuned in to the MoorishOG Speaks. I am your man. I am your host, your brother, your nigga behind the motherfucking trigger. Holla at your boy.